Hi, I'm Sarah Fry. Welcome to PaTTAnpod. Today's episode takes place at the annual Governor STEM Competition, a competition that challenges student teams to research, design, and present a project that can improve the lives of Pennsylvanians. Joining us to discuss the competition is the team advisor from Bishop Shanahan High School, Dr. John Janasik. Dr. Janasik, welcome.
Thank you, Sarah. It's nice to be here.
You have been a part of this competition for several years now. How would you describe it to educators that might be unfamiliar with it?
It's a competition that has evolved over the 9 years. It's gone from a competition where the schools that were entering the competition had no idea what to expect, to a competition where the advisors and the teams are much more informed. It's one that really challenges the students to produce projects that are top-notch. It's not your typical science fair type of competition. The projects really show how the students have used the engineering process to produce their projects. So it's really something that is sometimes stressful, but for the most part, the kids have a lot of fun. They're challenged, and they really want to do a good job.
Before we started filming today, Dr. Janasik, you mentioned something that caught my attention, that the Governor's STEM competition really meant something to your school. Can you elaborate on the conversation that we previously had?
It did, absolutely. We are a school, a Catholic school as part of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. We have slightly less than 1,000 students, and so STEM was not a program that we had in our building until the Governor's STEM competition. And it really was the impetus for us to create a STEM program. And so over the last 9 years, by participating in the competition, we've added STEM courses to our curriculum. We now have a national STEM certification program, which ends in what we call the STEM capstone. We went from a team of 5 students to begin with to a team now of almost 50 students, from which we have to take the students actually audition in a sense with their projects and what they would like to do in order to become the team that actually makes it to the Governor's competition. So we've come a long way because of this competition. It really was our starting point.
So, that's wonderful to talk about how one competition created new courses and all of this excitement. What has been the impact for students specifically with the competition?
Well, I think it's been even more so of an impact for them, because they are really into this, not just the competition, but into the STEM program. We've always produced students, we have almost 100% that go on to college. And of that 100%, a large portion of that go into STEM-related fields. But we never had that type of a program where they could channel the types of interests that they had. The STEM program offers them engineering programs, that offers them computer engineering. We have some students that are very involved in the electrical aspects of it, and it's growing. And so the students themselves have really bought into this whole STEM program that we now have at school. And in fact, next year, our media center is being turned into a STEM project center. And so it's really moving along. And the kids are excited. They're really, really excited.
That's wonderful to hear, and you're being humble so far, but I'll say it. You all have had some wonderful, I keep using this word wonderful, and my memory is failing just to put the pieces together. That's the one word I can grab onto today. You've had great success. You were recently champions for 2 years, right?
In 2019 and last year.
Yeah.
We were Division I champs last year. And it was interesting because we were Division I champs last year, And Downingtown STEM, which is also in our community, was the Division II champion. So you have two of the champions come from the same small town, which was really nice. Our area, the high schools in our area are top notch. We had, out of the 8 finalists last year in our area, 4 of them came from our particular IU, number 24. So we're very proud of that. But yes, as a school, we've done very well. This is our 7th appearance at the state level, so we're very excited about that.
So, what are the secrets to success? Can you shed a little light on it for some other teams?
Yeah, I have a couple things. One, I generally will ask one of the students to be the team leader, the team captain, and then I ask that person, for the most part, to choose their team. Because I feel that if they choose their team, or at least have an influence in what that team is going to be, they work better. And they know their other team members. They've already established some kind of a relationship with that team member as friends or as classmates that they've gotten to know over their last 3 or 4 years in our high school. So that's the first thing. I do allow them to do that. The second thing is I really try to create a team atmosphere. We do a lot of things together. We go to a lot of meetings together. We go out to our community partners as a team. We have dinners together. Our evening meetings, when we meet in the evenings for our particular STEM competitions, because we don't have time during the school day to build that in. But it's mostly after school, so we have a lot of dinners together. And so it's really a team building thing there. And the other thing is I let them choose their project. We probably started out this year with maybe 10 different projects that we were taking a look at. And the team that is here today representing Shanahan was the team that was able to produce the project that they needed for this competition. We knew that was probably going to happen at the beginning of the year, and so some emphasis obviously is placed on the team that's here today, but we do have other teams, and they enter other competitions now, which is another thing. We only had one team way back 9 years ago. Now we had 7 teams this year entering different competitions, so it's really good. And you just have to build a team, and you have to let them run with their project. And you give them advice, and because I've been with this competition 9 years, I know a little bit about what's expected, the rubrics and so on. So that's where I come into play most of the time. I keep them on track, but they run with their project. And it's amazing, once you tell them that they have to reach out into the community, how brave they are about reaching out and talking to people they've never talked to, finding resources that they didn't know existed before. So it's a great opportunity for them.
I'd love to, if you don't mind, ask a question about that. So one of the aspects of the project is that the student teams do need to have a partner in the community that will give them input or help them work through challenges with their idea. What impact has that had, or what is the importance, do you think, of that aspect of the competition on your students, on your school?
Well, it really puts them in a position where they have to communicate to organizations, businesses, other educational services that they would never have been able to do before and would never have thought of doing before with a project. So it really puts them out there. And we have a couple of community partners that we've worked with over the last 9 years. One is a CTDI that works out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. And they've been very helpful for us in terms of supplying us with engineers. So our students get to see how those engineers work firsthand. And they go to CTDI, and their engineers really mentor our students. So it's really a good thing for them. This year, we also reached out to an industry for that makes traffic signs and TAPCO Industries out of Wisconsin. And through Zoom meetings and through webinars, we've been able to work with them long distance. And so they've been really helpful. So that was another step that our students had to take. They had to reach out to somebody who's not in our particular area. And then we also worked with a number of our police departments, including the state police, to help us gather data, to help us with our particular project this year.
That's interesting that, you know, having those local connections has sparked some, you mentioned mentorship and just deeper engagement for students beyond maybe one phone call.
Exactly.
Or a quick question, into more of a relationship with that partner as well, but then also extending on to other partners beyond Pennsylvania.
We've had a number of parents of team members who are in different fields that were also able to help us throughout the years. We've went to a couple of our local universities to get some help from them. So the variety of community partners has really been extraordinary and really a great opportunity for our students.
I can only imagine just having those students engage with different members of the community is rewarding, but also you mentioned parents maybe kind of spotlighting or having them have an opportunity to get involved in a special way in school programming.
And they loved it.
Yeah.
You know, parents always like to help their children. And so we come from a community where, and most of our students come from those types of communities where the parents are professionals for the most part. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're engineers, and so they've been really helpful in directing our students, our team members, to know where to go to find things, because they in themselves have been in touch with a lot of our community partners, and it's been really helpful, really helpful.
Well, I just want to repeat in case our audience members missed out on some of those keys to success. You talked about just relationship building with your students, both with designating a team captain, but also just throughout the process, really empowering them and giving them the support they need. But then, like you said, I think you even maybe used the word kind of pushing them out into the community and putting them in the position to lead and take the direction of the project with that community impact.
And that's part of the advisorship. Because I have a background with the competition, I also know a lot of our community members because I've been at Shanahan since 1983, so I know our community pretty well. But our community partners have been so willing to help our students. And so when they come up with an idea for a project, it also gives me an idea of what types of partnerships they need to form. So I'm able to do that for them. And it's been very useful over the years.
Well, Dr. Janasik, it's been truly a pleasure to learn about your team's involvement and your individual involvement in the competition. I know you are busy today preparing for this year's competition. Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And to our audience members, if you are interested in learning more about the Governor's STEM competition, there's a link available on our show notes. I'd also want to thank our producer today, John Ragsdale, for helping us share the information about the competition. And to our audience, I hope that you'll come back and meet me at PaTTANpod again very soon.